Hey everyone, welcome to another Intro to HTML video. In this video I'm going to focus on controlling the white space of my page to give all of my content a little bit more room. You can see it's really scrunched up. We talked about that before, and that comes because of the CSS reset we did, which took away all margin padding on things. We're also going to work on putting colors in all of our containers so that we have the color scheme that we want for the web page. I've decided on a color scheme, and I added it to my CSS in a block comment. So this is a block comment. Remember, they start with slash, star, and then star, slash. And then you can put anything in between those two things, slash, star, and star, slash, and it'll be ignored by the browser. And I just chose 5 colors. Generally, in a color scheme, you want to stick to about 5 colors. And I'm using lightest gray. The lightest gray I've got is this right here, E5, E5, E5. And then I've got red, I've got black, I've got dark gray, and I've got a medium gray. This is going to be a very neutral looking web page. Lots of grays and blacks and a little bit of red for accent in there. I'm going to start with a very dark background behind the whole body. Then I'm going to make the color behind the wrapper the light gray so that the light gray will stand out against the very dark gray. So to make a background behind the whole body very dark gray, I'm going to have to select body and choose background color. And I'm going to use the hexadecimal value here. Remember, when we use hexadecimal colors in our CSS, we need to have the number symbol included. So number symbol 5B5553. I'll copy that. I'll paste it there, save it, and check it in the browser. There we go. Everything got really dark. Now, this is way too dark behind all of our text. Our text wouldn't show up at all. So we want to have a lighter color behind the text. That's not always the rule. You can put dark text or dark colors behind light text, but you usually don't want to do that for the whole body because for big chunks of text, if you're reading a long set of paragraphs, having light text over dark can be kind of difficult to read sometimes. So I usually like to have a lighter background and darker text. So I'm going to start with my lightest gray for the background that's going to go behind all of the content. Now, all of the content is wrapped up in that wrapper div. So I'm going to put my background color there. And that's my E5, 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 E5. So why did I put it in the wrapper? Let's take a look at the HTML to remind us why we did that. Remember, there's a div that's going to wrap up the whole page. Div ID wrapper. It opens here, right at the beginning of the body, and the header's in it, the nav's in it, the columns are in it, the feature's in it, the footer is in it, and it closes all the way down here below the footer. Given that everything is contained inside of it, if I put a background color in this wrapper, that background color is going to appear behind all of that content. So let's look at it in the browser. There we go. We've got a very light gray behind everything, behind all of the content. You can see it goes all the way down to the bottom. Great, that's what I wanted. Now, I want my feature to have my medium gray. You know what? I used silver already, but the medium gray is almost identical to silver. It's just a little bit darker. So I'm going to go to my CSS, and my feature currently has a background color of silver. Well, I'm going to choose my medium gray. It's that B1A7A5. Copy it. Go down to my feature. Paste that in there and see what it looks like. It's going to look very similar. See, almost no change at all. It got a little bit darker. Great, that's fine. Now, I'm starting to get things looking all right. I haven't decided if I want to have a background color behind the header. Maybe I'll do that medium gray behind the header just to set it apart from the rest of the content. Maybe behind the header and the nav. Yeah, I'll do the medium gray behind the header and the nav both. So I'll get the medium gray and behind the nav. Put that color. I'm just going to copy this, and then behind the header as well. And I haven't selected header for anything yet, so I'm going to go down here below footer and just, no, you know what, I'm going to go up near the top. It doesn't really matter where I put it, but I kind of like things to be in some sort of order. So I'm putting in order header, then body. Paste that in, save it. Now let's check it. The header and the nav should both have that same medium gray, which they do. Now my nav is a little bit too narrow. I want my nav to stretch from edge to edge. And let's see why it's doing that. Nav, the width is set right here. I don't want that. You know what? I think I want the UL inside of the nav to be that wide. So what I want to do is have the nav stretch all the way from edge to edge, but have the UL contained to be the same width as my feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select nav, UL, and I'm going to push things around a little bit. I'm going to take the width out of the nav. I'm going to put it into the UL. And here's why. Let's take a look at our comp. In the comp, my nav, you can see it's this light blue. It stretches from edge to edge of wrapper. But my UL is narrower. It says 706 pixels wide for the UL. So I've just changed that. Once again, here's what I did. I had the width inside the nav. I'm going to take it out of the nav because I want nav to just be 100% width, so it'll take up all usable space inside of the wrapper. I'm going to put this into the UL so that the UL is constrained to that 85% roughly. Save it, check it in the browser. There we go. The nav stretches all the way, but hey, the UL didn't agree, and let's try and figure out why. So nav, UL, and the width was set to that. Well, why didn't it go all the way over? To figure this out, maybe we'll give it a background color. Because it looks like it's, you know, it's taken up the whole width. Save it. Well, it's not. It's not taking up the whole width. There's a bit of space over here, and it looks like it's the same amount of margins on either side. Take a second to see if you can figure out why that's not shifted over along with the feature. Maybe look at what we did with the feature and see if you can figure out why that is. All right, welcome back. I know why this is. And let's take a look at why. Nav UL, we set the width and the background color. Let's take a look at the feature. The feature, we set the width and we set the margin. We set the margin to 0 auto. That's the key right there. Remember, margin 0 auto is what's going to make it look like it's centered. So I'll paste that in. So nav UL is going to get a width and margin 0 auto. I'll save it. I'm going to take the yellow out of there as soon as I'm done here because I don't like that yellow. And now it agrees. It lines up perfectly with my feature. Excellent. Okay, I'll take the yellow out of there because I don't want that. Save it, refresh it. That's what we're looking at there. That looks pretty nice. Now the nav is in line with the feature. We've got it sort of conforming to the grid. Now I've got my colors in here. I think my page colors look pretty good. Now I'm going to start adding white space in. Some of the things that I want to do, if I look at my comp, I've got some space above and below my feature. Okay? So I'm going to create a little bit of white space there. And I'm going to maybe put in, I don't know, I'm going to start with like 3% above and below my feature. So look at the margin. It's set to 0 and auto. So left and right are set to automatic. Top and bottom are set to 0. I'm going to start with 3% and see what that looks like. Save it, refresh it. Is that enough? Let's compare it to the comp. That looks pretty close to the comp. Now, do we want more? That's the question. Maybe we want a little bit of space on the bottom more, or maybe we want a little bit of extra space on the top. Let's play around with that a little bit. I'm going to put some space below, a little bit of extra space below. So I'll go 3% auto, 4% auto. So top is 3%, right is auto, bottom is 4%, left is auto. Save it, refresh it. I like that little bit of extra space there. Okay, that's good. I'm going to keep that as is. My nav feels really scrunched up. I want to have a little bit of space above and below all of my links. So I think I could do that with padding in the nav. So go to the nav, and I'll give it some padding. And I don't want any padding on the left and right, just on the top and bottom. So I'm going to try 1%, 0. Save it, refresh it. That gave us just a little bit of breathing room. That's good. I'm going to keep that as is. Now my header, I want it to be quite a bit more space above and below. We're not really going to know how tall that header is until we adjust all the text, and that's going to be in the next video. But I'm going to give it a little bit of padding. So go to the header, padding. I'm going to just throw something in here now, and we'll address it later. 3%. It's probably not going to be 3%. We might have different padding on the top and bottom versus on the sides, but this will give us a little bit of space to work with right now. So that looks a little bit better, a little bit more space, a little bit more space. The top feels pretty well resolved. We've got a lot of nice white space in here. These things are going to change when we start adjusting the typography, when we make the text a little bit bigger. Now, I've got a little problem here. My H2 and my feature is touching the image. So I might want to I'm going to add a section down here for typography. And the H2, I'm going to start with H2 that is in feature. I'm going to give it a little bit of padding. Now I'm going to give it some margin on the bottom. Margin bottom. And I'm just going to start with 2% because other things in there have 2% margin, and see what it looks like. Well, that didn't do anything. Let's figure out why. I did feature H2, but why didn't it work? See if you can figure it out. Okay, let's take a look at the feature up here. Feature up here has a number symbol in front of it. It's got to have the number symbol in front of it down there. So I'm going to copy that, come down here, feature H2. Now save it. And there, we got a little bit of spacing. Now, this spacing agrees with that spacing, which I think is good. That feels resolved. Now all we're going to deal with here is we're going to give a little bit of space around our columns here. So we want left and right side margins on these columns. And those are going to be our main content and our sidebar. So we want to put some margins on here. Let's start with 2%, and we can play with it later on and see what happens. So 2%, save it, refresh it. We've got a problem. Do you remember what that problem is? Comes down to the box. Remember, when we add margins to the box, it adds the overall width. So if I add 2% here, that means I get 2% on the left, 2% on the right. I need to take 4% off here. So that would be 59. Save it, refresh it, and there we go. We've got our little bit of margin there. Now, I'm going to put some margins on my sidebar. I'm going to use the same margins for now, and then I can address it later if I feel like I need to. And we add 4 here, we take 4 away here, save it, refresh it in the browser, and we've got a little bit of margin on the edges. That looks pretty good. Okay, now the last thing we have to address is the margins around paragraphs. Margins on paragraphs, by default, have a top and bottom margin. So I'm just going to add a little bit in there for now, and then once we adjust the typography, we might play with these a little bit more. Margin, and I want the top and bottom to start with 1.5% and left and right 0. Save it. Check it in the browser. Bang, we've got a little bit of white space. I think I want a little bit more. That's not quite enough. So maybe I'll go with 2.5. Save it, refresh it, and there we've got a little bit more margin there on the tops and bottoms of our paragraphs. If we want to later on, when we start adjusting the typography, we might decide that we want more margins on the tops and bottoms. But we'll address that at another point. All right, so I've got a little bit of extra white space in here. My feature feels good. My heading and my nav feel good. My columns feel a little bit better. I can address the rest of the stuff for white space once we start adjusting all of the typography. That'll be in the next video. Thanks for watching.